Hey guys, welcome back to another weekly Radix recap. We'll go ahead and just jump right into it. Let me go ahead and share my screen. I hope you guys are having a fantastic weekend and happy Easter to those who do celebrate. And hopefully you guys are seeing a lot of gains with, the start of this bull market. But let me share my screen so we can jump right into what we came here to do. All right. As you guys know, we'll go ahead and start by looking at the price. Right now, in this moment, we're at 14 cents 98. Actually, let me refresh this real quick and see where we're at. Let me refresh real quick. Come on now. Okay, so 14 cents, right under 15. High within the past 24 hours, 15 cents, low of 14.78. Not bad. All right, let's move on. All right, so right now we have the Radix report that came the first of this month, April 1st. And as you guys know, I'm not sure if you guys read this, but going through it, they just kind of cover what happened within the first quarter of this year. And for the people who do follow this project and for those who don't, the quarter that we're in, quarter two, is the biggest right now for Radix. Why? Because at the end of this quarter, we are expecting the first release of our mainnet, right? Olympia. And then we'll have Alexandria later later this year. So this is a very important quarter for us. Also within this quarter, we will actually on the 7th, we will be getting the notification for all the validators who will be invited, the 100 validators who will be invited to jump on the beta test net before the mainnet. So this is going to be a pretty eventful and I do see obviously resulting in the price. I see that going up a lot. But yeah, so let's jump into this real quick here. And all right, so and you guys know, I'm not sure if you guys follow the Twitter, but I've seen the Twitter followers amount increase a lot. Telegram, same thing. Discord, I've seen a lot of influx of people just coming in, which is nice. That's what we want. So we are gradually growing, so we have people who are, I'll like to say, highly interested in the project and not just for the games, at least from the conversations I've been reading into the Telegram. Let's go to development actually. So right here, so we'll just go ahead and read this off. So with BetaNet just around the corner, our focus has been on performance tuning, scaling up our internal test networks, and progressing with updated implementation of Olympia wallet. Okay, so we will be getting that wallet pretty soon. Obviously, with a mainnet coming, we need a wallet, and I'm sure we'll be also getting Explorer because those are, part of the package. But yeah, let's go here. So as I mentioned, in this quarter, we had the validator proposals. So right here, review 100 community beta net validator submissions and apply some categorization to ensure we get a diverse pool of validators for testing. Obviously, it's important because we don't want every single validator on cloud hosting services. We want people who are running services, either local data centers, or even if you are using cloud hosting, we want multiple or a variety of different cloud providers. People who are running, home servers, whatever the case might be, it's better that way for the network, right? And what else? So they made several changes to the structure of the transaction in order to future optimize storage usage and overhead, improved on the peer-to-peer connection management, fixed some edge cases where nodes reach habit offline could take too long to pretty much. Okay, so pretty much that's saying, if your node goes offline, it's going to be much faster now. They've toned it up so it's much faster for you to resync with the network. And if you are participating in the Cassandra testing right now, or if you're not, this week we had a very flawless test that ran through, and this resync issue actually happened. I forgot who it was, but they were, I think it was Henry, running off the Raspberry Pi, and it was able to, sync back up with the network. Had a few nodes that went down, I think that came back up, and it got synced with the network. So we were able to see that. Lots of adjustments to our performance monitoring to better capture and visualize the status of large networks. Rewrote our long neglected faucet to better support both internal tests and public beta, which is good because that's how we're going to go ahead and receive the testnet tokens, right? Beta net tokens. What else has been happening? So that's pretty much it for this report that I wanted to review with you guys. And then also this week, so we got a new DeFi download podcast with Pierce. Awesome. If you haven't had a chance to listen to that, do go ahead and listen. The guest speaker they had was the founder of Pocket Network, and right here on their website, Pocket Network is a decentralized infrastructure API built for Web3 apps. Deploy application to a network for thousands of nodes that are coordinated by a trustless protocol and powered by Pocket. Okay. All right. So, and I think during the podcast, they pretty much mentioned that they are a decentralized API protocol in the marketplace. Oh my goodness, I feel like I'm gonna barf. Excuse me, guys. Okay, so they're currently supporting Ethereum, Pocket, Solana, RSK, Allegram, Matic, and I'm pretty sure they're going to be supporting Radix once we have our mainnet live or sometime down the line. That makes sense. So, and also this week we got a chance to meet 2 new team members, and you guys know the team they've been hiring. They had a job post for a while, so they've gone ahead and filled some of those spots. Yeah, let's go ahead and read about these guys. So we have Ray and Lucas. All right, let's see who we got first. So we got Ray. So he's a technical writer. Ray has been a Java developer since way back when Java was at version 1. Oh, wow. That man is very, very experienced. He dabbled in JavaScript, Python along the way, working for companies such as Oracle, Vodafone, British Telecom, John Lewis Partnership, covering both front end and back end development and filling in documentations that developers occasionally miss. He realized that he enjoyed the writing side, both technical and creative, so he did more of it until he was eventually writing more or less full time. Okay, so that's pretty dope. So what does he do exactly over here at Radix, right? So the bulk of my day-to-day work is documentation. This covers the API, crypto programming language. More on that soon. All right. The aspect of the network, I'm also building out documentation publishing pipeline with the aim of getting up to date information out to our users as quickly as possible. Okay, so he's going to be handling all the documentations for Radix that we see on the website. All right, so let's see. As you guys know, we are building this platform, not we as in the whole community that support Radix, right? So we're building specifically for DeFi, right? And let's see, because I know they tend to hire a lot of folks who have worked in the finance sector. What is John Lewis Partnership? Okay. What am I looking for? All right, let's go ahead and move to the other one. I mean, the man's very qualified. Started with Java at version 1. So I don't know if you'll find anyone as experienced as he is with his line of work. So that's awesome. That's a great pickup for the team. Next guy, we have Mr. Lucas, developer. So he's a professional career. So his professional career started in 2013 when he joined a microfinance company for an open source project as a junior Java developer. So that's 2 Java developer that we got introduced to this week. For the past few years before joining Radix, he was primarily a Scala developer. In 2016, he joined IOHK to work on Ethereum implementation that their team was to build from scratch in Scala. He then left the industry to work on a workflow processing system just to come back to crypto a year later. Right here as a developer at Radix. Okay, so clearly the man got the chops, as with all the people they tend to hire, so they're not like, if you go through the list of employers that Radix have, there's no lacking. That's the beautiful thing. There's no lackey. So they're highly skilled, and that means we're in good hands for the long term. We're in very good hands. And another thing that just reminded me, if you guys are in the Discord, I think it was Matt, he mentioned that developing, I think it's scripto, and developing different components, and just writing, I guess, code in Radix, it's going to be very similar. It's going to be a very similar feel to Rust, and Rust is obviously like the most popular language right now. So that's good. So a lot of people who are developing, who are looking to develop on Radix, make sure you either know Rust or start learning Rust, because it's going to make it so much easier for you to transition to Scripto. And let's go ahead. All right. So let's see. Okay. So his primary role is a senior backend developer for Radix Node. All right. So I guess that's who we're going to be interacting with a lot when it comes to running and securing the network. Our main goal is to deliver a solid product for the Radix beta net released. My responsibility lately have been around the consensus and P2P sync part of the application. Nodes sometimes run out of sync for various reasons. Network problems, all right, temporary shutdown, and being able to sync them back up is a crucial part of the application. Without this, the network would quickly stall. It is especially important for non-validator full nodes, as they don't participate in the main consensus protocol. Sync is the only mechanism that keeps those nodes up to date. Even though the node is not a validator, it still needs to be verified that the sync data is received and is correct. Awesome. So yeah, so that's the new team, guys. So we are introduced to Ray and Lucas. Nice to meet you guys, and I wish you guys the best and many success. As a community, we are depending on you guys to do your job very well, to push forward the goal, and just the commitment by the team. We appreciate it. All right, what happened this week? If you guys follow Dan, he tweeted a few things here, and he tweeted about Cassandra. He was going to implement the BLS signature into the Cassandra state certificates. So this coming week, we are going to see a big improvement in the Cassandra research platform. And so if you're not running tests, definitely follow Dan, and just stay tuned with his Twitter. He's been posting a lot of things. And sorry if I've been stuttering. I don't know why. I feel like I have so much thing in my head, but I just keep rambling on. And what else did he say? All right. So during the test, a couple of validators were having some issues halfway through. And Dan, he did in the middle of running the test on the live Twitch, he did I think, what did he say? It was a hot patch he did. So he fixed something that was going wrong while the network was running. And I think that's the first time he's done that while we've been running nodes and helping out. So that was pretty awesome. Let's see here. And this coming week, I think the goal for this week would be for the Cassandra testnet to be running 24. I'm not sure it's going to be 24/7, but at least for a full day. So that way, for those, like, we're on US time, and if we are not able to actually run the testnet right away, we can join later when we're awake or when we're off work and things like that. So that's awesome. And this is going to be the first of its kind of this, running the node for 24 hours. So it's going to be big. This is huge. And again, Cassandra, it's the future network it's a research network for things that will be rolled out later in the future, right? And what else here? And then, but yeah, this week, it wasn't as busy as the others, but a lot of major things happened. But let's go ahead and jump into this what is it, Q&A that Pierce did. There was a lot of great questions, and the Q&A, it was with, who was it with? All right, with MX C, exchange and golden finance. For those who haven't read this Q&A, definitely, I encourage you to go read this. Peers actually answer a lot of great questions. Yeah, there are a lot of great questions in here. There's a few of them that I actually want to go through and read off here. See. All right, let's do this one. I know I should have done this in a separate video, but it is what it is. We're already here. So what triggers you to launch? So this is the first question, right? That I thought was pretty interesting. What triggers you to launch Radix? Or Radix, excuse me. I'm going back to pronouncing it with how I used to pronounce it. What triggers you to launch Radix? What are some of the real world problems and pain points that Radix aims to solve, right? This, I mean, obviously that's what we want to know for those who, as developers who are developing other problems, this is the type of question they want to know. Why, like, you know, what they're being solved. I'm rambling again, sorry. So his answer was, today, the Ethereum ecosystem has 3 huge issues, right? First, it's extremely difficult to build bug-free code, right? Because, you know, Solidity is actually, it's hard for those developers, at least from what I've heard, and some friends who, you know, to dabble around, it's pretty hard. So let's go back. Firstly, it's extremely difficult to build bug-free code, and where complexity is punished due to risk. The number of hacks, exploits we've heard about every week is growing, and hundreds of millions have been lost. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. This creates fear in developer community, and it means that developers today spend 90% of their time securing code rather than building new apps. And obviously, they come over to Radix, it's going to be flipped over, where 90% of your time you're going to be building new apps, and 10% of the time you will be, you know, worried about the security and of your code, right? And then secondly, let's go ahead, let's just jump right here. Secondly, it takes a community to build a $1 billion application, yet only the most successful dApps are rewarded. Incrementally, improvements, incremental improvement is not rewarded. If you are an individual developer and you create a breakthrough innovation for Ethereum, you see none of the reward unless you go all the way to build an application. Contributing code gets you nothing, right? And as we've talked about before, this is going to be one of the key and major reasons why Radix is going to succeed right there, because of this right here. And I'll read this sentence again. If you are an individual developer and you create a breakthrough innovation for Ethereum, you see none of the rewards unless you go all the way to build an application. Contributing code gets you nothing. So over here at Radix, for all you developers, if you build a component, it can be used in many applications, and you actually get rewarded. You get paid for your actual code that gets used. I don't see that in any other project besides Radix. So that is one of the biggest advantages of why you developers need to come over to Radix, because of this right here. You will actually get paid for your hard work. But let's go ahead and move on. Radix solves this problem by rewarding everyone who makes the platform better, right? This is achieved through our system of a on-ledger royalty that rewards those who contribute code to the system, right? If you build a great new component for Radix ecosystem and a dApp uses that component to make their great new application, the component developer gets a royalty fee every time that dApp is used. This makes sure that the code contributor as well as the dApp builders get incentivized to build and contribute to the Radix system. And then the third reason is gas fees. Everybody knows gas fees right now is extremely high. It is killing DeFi. And that's what peers pretty much kind of talk about. So it says thirdly, gas fees are killing Ethereum. Ethereum 2.0 unfortunately kills DeFi composability. Reach is another crucial part and a benefit of Radix. Reach is critical to making DeFi work in a liquid, low friction. It does today. There are no technical fixes that address this for Ethereum or Polkadot or Avalanche or Near. They are all equally flawed in this important respect. So pretty much that tells you that Radix has the upper hand when it comes to that. What was another one here? They had a lot of great questions. There's another one. Okay, that's what we're here. So what are some challenges that Radix currently face? How do you aim to solve them? And his answer was, ecosystem is always the hardest challenge. How do you build an ecosystem from scratch when your network has just launched? However, gas costs are likely the usability of, however, gas costs are killing the usability of Ethereum Ledger. Solidity is the nightmare for DeFi developers. Right now, most of Ethereum ecosystem is actively looking for ways to mitigate the scalability issues, and every single project is constantly trying to mitigate the security issue of Solidity, right? And this touches on what I said earlier with how it's going to be so much easier to actually write code, to write these quote unquote smart contracts on Radix opposed to other platforms, right? Anyways, to go back. So layer 2 breaks the composability that is so critical to DeFi. The projects like Polkadot, Avalanche, Ethereum 2.0 do no better on this front end. All right. To ease the transition from Solidity to Scripto, one of our partners, was it Noder, is creating a system that allows people, I think they changed their name, was it? I think it's just the spelling, Notors, something like that. The system that allows people to migrate their Solidity code across the Radix network. And obviously they have the link here. Definitely check this out. So that was, I think that was a pretty important question that they asked. Yeah, they had a lot of great questions in here. And I think, there we go. I think this was probably my favorite question that was asked because it kind of put the roadmap into perspective for everyone that's following this project. The question reads, after the Radix mainnet is launched, do all the shards need to be up and running? And as you guys know, it's going to be 3 different mainnet, right? The first one's not, but eventually once we're at our pinnacle of the network, it's going to be fully sharded. And from what they'd like to say, 10 quillion, something like that. It's ridiculous amount of shards. I think it's like 2 to the 256 power or something like that. But yeah, let's go ahead. So, and Pierce answer, the Radix mainnet Olympia will launch at the end of 2021, right? Quarter 2 of 2021, excuse me. And that's why I said this quarter is going to be very important because we'll see the first iteration of our mainnet, right? It's prepared and designed for sharding, but use blocks for a secure launch and rolled out rechar served by all nodes on sharded Cerberus. The scalability upgrade is Babylon. H1 of 2020 introduced a stay sharded Cerberus with all the nodes serving all shards. Finally, the second scalability upgrade is Gaza, and that's going to come in 2023. Will deliver fully sharded, would deliver a fully sharded Cerberus with unlimited scalability. Okay. Do I remember the timeline being this long? I'm not sure. I have to go back and check. I got to go back and check. I feel like that got updated, but I'll definitely go back and check. But that give us a timeline of, what we can expect to happen on the network, right? And I've been knowing that that's been a trend with a lot of projects now. They've been opposed to just, hey, we have mainnet. They've been, splitting the mainnets into different parts, right? Different parts with different upgrades and adding different features, but they're letting the community know way ahead of time. Like, hey, our network's going to be live, but this is not this is not the full capacity of the network, right? So I like that. What's another question? There's another one here. Okay, this one right here kind of goes into the comparisons with, obviously this big boom with the layer 2, right? And how Radix compares to that. So if many layer 2 expansion projects connects network to each other and use the same protocol, is there hope to achieve breakthrough in combination and processing efficiency? Let me read it. If many layer 2 expansion projects connect network to each other and use the same protocol, is there hope to achieve breakthroughs in combinations and processing efficiency? Okay, a layer 2 project is another network built on top of layer 1 network with its own competing validators, liquidity providers, and token economic system. It is not a solution, merely a sticking plaster to a fundamentally broken system. So that pretty much answered layer 2 as a solving as a solution for scalability on Ethereum or any of these different projects. As he said, it breaks a system, right? It's like you're putting makeup on a pig, it's still a pig at the end of the day. And so he goes in and gives us an example. For example, developers need to decide which layer 2 they want to use. Smart contracts would be more complex to develop, and seamless communication between layer 2 does not really exist yet. Besides that, someone needs to run and secure these layer 2 networks, right? So instead of having, let's say, 100 validators, so layer 1, you'll need those same 100 validators on layer 1, plus you'll need X amount more on layer 2, right? So so pretty much you need a lot. It's going to be a lot of competing between layer 1 and layer 2, right? And eventually what's going to happen, these layer 2 solutions, they're going to eventually kind of break off and do their own thing, just like we seen when we had the fork, was that a couple of years back with BTC and Satoshi Vision, right? But let's get back. So he said normal users would need to manage their funds in multiple different layer 2 with different security guarantees and need to regularly take care that their layer 2 is still alive and not abandoned soon. That is why Radix is built from the ground up as layer 1 distributed ledger. There is no layer 2 solution necessary for scaling. Radix already delivers the linear scaling without breaking atomic composability, which means there is no bottleneck in Radix. That is huge. That is huge. That is huge, because right now, all these different platforms, layer 1 platforms, they're running into a bottleneck. They can only scale to an X amount. That's it. They can scale to an X amount. And for the future of DeFi, for the future of this space, we need a system that has no bottleneck. We need a system that can scale as needed, especially as needed. Because if we think that this space, this industry is going to grow to where it's going to become the future of finance, of global finance, it needs to scale to that level, right? So the transaction throughput grows with growing network, more nodes, more TPS, right? And the finality time would also be low so it's going to take 3 to 5 seconds to process. That's fast. 3 to 5 seconds to process your transaction. That is actually pretty fast. And then let's go ahead and hit one more question and we'll be pretty much done for this weekly recap, right? Last question. How many DeFi projects do you think will appear? What functions do these projects perform? And what value do they have? So Pierre's answer, Radix is a layer 1 distributed ledger, especially built for DeFi, and supports any use case within finance. As a result, every financial product that exists today could be made into a dApp that runs on Radix. So anything we do right now in the traditional financial world, it can be done on Radix. You cannot say the same for every single layer 1 protocol. You just can't. So already that is huge. That's a huge advantage. But let's move on. Fundamentally, the global financial system has one job: efficient capital allocation. This is achieved via a huge range of financial product. Decentralized finance is in process of rethinking every single one of these products and create a decentralized version of what is currently being used in the standard financial industry today. I expect everything in finance to eventually become DeFi project. The question is not if, but when. And that's true, right? Right. As we advance in technology, what we did prior gets recreated into into whatever new technology, whatever new emerging technology, right? Same thing. How banking was, now we have our mobile apps and we do banking mobile, right? And it's going to be the same thing. Everything we're doing traditionally right now, we're going to be doing that on a DeFi level, which is awesome. And obviously with that comes with a lot of responsibility on the users and the developers, obviously, but a lot of that responsibility comes from the users, right? Protect yourself always. Protect yourself always, because it's not going to be the same. And these projects are going to try to make it as easy as possible. That's the goal for Radix, make it as simple, as easy as possible. It still takes that initiative from the users to properly use these tools that Radix are going to go ahead and create. But that pretty much wraps it up for this week. Again, I'm expecting this coming week to be a huge update for us on Cassandra and everything that's happening, because obviously on the 7th we will know the top 100 validators who will be invited to go ahead and jump on the beta net. Hopefully we are in that. If we are, I'll let you guys know. But yeah, have a blessed week, and we will chat soon. Bye-bye.